Hey guys, it's Oddisode time. I hope you guys are enjoying these extra episodes that we're trying to get up for you. We've got some really cool friends and we wanted to tell you more about them. So sit back, chillax, and enjoy this new Oddisode. So guys, have you heard of paraboxmonthly.com? Get ready for this. It's kind of cool. Every box contains an amazing soft style paranormal t-shirt and a content card. These items also contain a hidden password. Okay, once discovered, it'll open up a new mystery online. How cool is that? If you can solve their challenge, you'll be entered into a monthly drawing for free merchandise. So cool. So here's all you need to do. You head to paraboxmonthly.com and add promo code Oddity Files and you're set. Check it out. It's paraboxmonthly.com, promo code Oddity Files. Check it out. Hey guys, Kitsy here with another Oddisode. I am very excited about tonight's guest. We have Brian Cano. He's all over the Travel Channel. I heard of him when he was on with John Zaffis, and I love that show so much, The Haunted Collector. But now he's on Paranormal Caught on Camera, which, as my listeners know, is one of my absolute favorite shows. Welcome to the show, Brian.
Hey, thanks for having me. How are you?
Doing great, doing great. So excited to have you here. So I know you, like I said, you're doing the Paranormal Caught on Camera right now, but I took a quick look at your Twitter and you've got so much more than that going on. Why don't you tell the fans what's going on with you online right now?
Wow, online. I feel like, our entire society lives online at the moment, and especially with the events of the past couple of days, the past few months. We are all stuck at home.
Yes.
We are looking to connect, and it's a really interesting slash scary time. And I've been making the best of it by returning to some old projects that I've left sitting that I know I need to finish up video wise. I've got a Patreon page in which I've developed this pretty cool community that we get together, we discuss paranormal topics. I get some of my video out. I've also developed a paranormal card game called The Three Pillars, which, even though it hasn't come out with anything new lately, we did develop 5 expansions for it, so we always have fun with that.
Whoa.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm trying to tick all the boxes, and the latest box that I've
Yeah.
ticked, I just completed my first book, and it's called,
Congratulations.
thank you. It's called Grains of Sand, and it's taken me years. It's taken me years to get to this, and I can't say that I had a bout of writer's block because to say that would indicate that I began and then got blocked. It's just like I always wanted well, let's just say I always wanted to write a book. That was my goal. That was my desire. But the question always begged itself of what would I write about? Would it be a manual? Would
Yeah.
it be something about tech? Like, what would it be? And every time people would say, Brian, you should write a book. I'm like, I should, but I don't know what to write about." And finally, a piece of advice from an old friend and mentor, the departed Rosemary Ellen Guiley. She said that the verbal transmission of facts, the anecdote, the verbal experience is as important to evidence as is the audio, the video, and all the other stuff we get. And that kind of
Yeah.
that kind of resonated with me. And I said, you know what? Yeah, I've got a lot of experiences and I've got a lot of stories and they're my own anecdotes and I'm the only person who can tell them. So by nature, my book will be unique because I'm the only one who can tell my stories. And I sat down, I began writing and just something clicked and a couple of months later I had the first draft. I've been editing it. I'm on the third edit right now and currently in the process of finding an agent to market it.
Oh, that's amazing. Congratulations, sir. It sounds like it's going to be, like you said, a different take on it. Nobody else can tell your stories, and stories are everything.
They really are. I feel like this is something that's ingrained within us. And over the years, I'm a video editor. I do a lot of creative things, so most of what I've put out has been in documentary form, in video form.
Mhm.
So the thing I've noticed about this is technology changes. We
Yeah.
advance. We consume things in different ways, and a lot of my old footage is shot in SD, standard definition,
Yeah.
4:3 aspect ratio. It looks its age, and as great as it might have been at the time, it feels very dated.
Yeah.
And yet the content doesn't. For instance, I began shooting a documentary back in around 2010, 2011, codename The Social Doc. And
Okay.
the point of it was, there was a lot of shows on TV and everyone was focused on a location or a team.
Mhm.
And I wanted to take the camera and turn it 180 degrees and look at everybody who was watching. I wanted this to be the Trekkies of the paranormal in the respect that I wanted to talk to people on TV, wanted to talk to people who watch TV, people who had teams, people who were interested, people who were scared, people who just in whatever aspect of the paranormal they were in, they could tell their story. And for people who weren't into it and they go, "Hey, what's this all about? What do you guys do?" I'd be like, "Here, check out this film." And it would summarize this hobby, this vocation, this passion that we all share.
Yeah.
And I've been digging up those interviews recently and putting them on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. And it's funny as I edit, and I edited one today, as a matter of fact. The people who are on it, some people whose names you know probably now better than before, like Dave Schrader, Chip Coffey, Jeff Belanger.
Yeah.
Last month I posted an interview with the Constantinos. I mean, I'm digging back,
Wow.
and the things they say and the comments they make, I could have shot this last week because the things are just as relevant, or rather, maybe things haven't changed. But
Yeah.
whichever the culprit, these still feel new and they still feel relevant. So I'm digging. I'm trying to bring it all back. And as I've always said, no footage goes to waste.
That's amazing. I love that. And what is your YouTube channel?
Oh, that's a good question. You could search Brian J. Cano because it's changed over the years.
Gotcha.
I'm easy to find. I'll say that.
That's amazing. Here's the thing about paranormal, going a little bit back to your book and the storytelling of it, it's not always something that sets a REM pod off. It's not always something that the camera catches. It's the story, it's the feeling, it's and really the only way you can portray what we go through as investigators is to tell the story. And sometimes that's more captivating than the TV shows. To me, I don't know.
I feel like there's room for both, and like I said, because so much of my energy over the past 15, 16, 17, 18 years in doing this has been focused on video.
Yeah.
I've noted that even as people stop buying DVDs, stop wanting to have and hold something physical that has extras, and when they've moved to streaming, and
Mhm.
even when they get bored with that, when I go to the conventions, something that never does poorly, that no matter what I see people walking around with, are books.
Yeah.
And everybody comes out with a book. Everybody has their own particular story to tell.
Yeah.
And I felt, well, I'm telling it visually through the documentaries. And yeah, one day I'll get to a book, but I feel like this is what I've got to do right now. And
Yeah.
in switching gears to doing the book, I gotta say it's scary and satisfying, and I really hope it's personal. I mean, it's definitely
Yeah.
personal. So whereas when I would do documentaries, I would hope people liked it, of course. But now when I put words to the page, it's ever so more personal that I'm sharing such a part of myself that it's not even just okay. I set up this shot and I put this here, and no, like here you're getting raw Brian, and that's new to me.
Yeah, I bet it's super scary. But and don't get me wrong, I am a sucker for every paranormal show that comes out on every streaming, every cable, every all the stuff and all the things. So what is your take on what do you see the paranormal world heading into? Do you think it's going to be like a repeat where everybody's like you're saying you're going back to these older videos and everything's still relevant? Do you think it's just such an untapped, I don't even know what the word I would use for it is, that everything's still just new and relevant?
I think that no matter what area you work in, the technology might change, certain attitudes might change, but the commonality between all of it is that we're involved. The human element is what will drive things forward or keep
Mhm.
it in place. And just by cutting these older interviews and seeing that nothing has changed, well, in those years, I know I've changed
Yeah.
quite a lot, and probably individually, each of the people have changed. But overall, the big picture, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of development. And I wonder why that's so. If
Yeah.
we're all changing in our own ways, what is keeping it centered the way it is? And I mean, if you look at the paranormal, you go back hundreds of years, the attitudes seem to ebb and flow, whereas you had the spiritualist movement and
Yeah.
seances and parties were held. They were a very social thing, and then they kind of went away again. And now we're seeing a resurgence of that popularity. And you go back even further, you had things like the Salem witch trials. You
Yeah.
had any kind of display of ancient knowledge was seen as subversive. So we live in a time right now where, due to social media and global connectivity, we can share these ideas so quickly and in turn find people who have those relatable experiences. So uh, I think a time will come when it tips, where it finally goes, okay, it's been building, and now here we go, here's
Yeah.
the tidal wave of change. But we're not quite there yet. It's still building, I feel.
Yeah. So do you have thoughts on what the direction we need to head is, or are you just as stumped as the rest of us?
Honestly, I feel it's spiritual. And I've seen this in several books. And even if I'm just flipping through it, I always tend to turn to a page that delivers the same message. And just to paraphrase, it's that we are physical beings put here to develop spiritually. So I feel
Mhm.
like that's going to be the avenue that is going to be taken. And to support that, in other documentaries I've been working on that have required interview segments, I'm looking for technical people so they can give me that technical jargon, to give me the facts and the figures. And every time I
Yeah.
go to them and say, all right, give me those numbers, they say, well, the love and the spirituality and the together. And I'm like, no, 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 no. Give me 5.2. Give me the data.
Give
And
me gigabytes and megawatts.
yeah, but the longer these people are in it, invariably they find that spiritual side and say, you know what, the figures don't matter. And I'm
Yeah.
kind of on that precipice, and that, well, yeah, I think the figures do matter. And we want them to be able to better understand it and to propagate that knowledge to other people. But yeah, it is about the spirituality, and
Yes.
I do feel we need both.
Agreed. I do too because I think not that this is my interview, but I think in order to let the rest of the world know what we know as investigators is it's going to take gigawatts and gigawatts and numbers. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I mean, I always ask this of audiences, and I give them a couple of easy science questions, and then I hit them with the, okay, well, can anybody tell me what is what? Give me the number of milligauss per square foot that would indicate a haunting at a location. And
Jeez.
invariably, people will try to answer it, and you'll get a couple of answers, and you'll get a lot of scratched heads, and then someone will go, "I don't know," and I'm like,
That's
"That's good,
me.
that's perfect, because it doesn't exist. It's a trick question."
Exactly.
But there is an answer. There must be data to support that. And
Yeah.
one day, who knows, maybe 30 years down the line, maybe I'll be fortunate enough to pick up a book, turn it to a page and say, "Oh, hey, Kitsy, check this out. It's the Cano efficient. That says that," and there will be the data.
Yeah, yeah, that's neat. So you're the techie guy is what you're telling me then. You wanna see those numbers, but you understand the spiritual side of it.
I feel like I was the techie guy. I mean, if we're gonna reach back to Haunted Collector, that was 7 years ago. So there's
So
been a lot
good.
of
Let me fangirl for a
growth
second.
that's
So
come.
good.
Thank you. I definitely miss that time and that crew. And I just talked to John the other day, and I said, "Hey, Johnny, we're coming up on the 10-year anniversary of John Zaffis' The World Within, which was the documentary we made on his life." I said, "Hey,
Okay.
when are we gonna do the 10th anniversary copy with some extra stuff?" And he's like, I'll let you know, kiddo." Like, uh-huh, that's John for, yeah, don't bother me.
Yeah. 10 years, holy shit. I can't believe that's insane. Absolutely insane. I feel ancient. Guys, have you heard of diedinhouse.com? This is pretty much the coolest thing ever. Ever feel like somebody's watching you in your house and you don't know why and you're the only one in the house? Did you know real estate brokers are not obliged to tell you if someone died in the house unless you ask? Yep, I found that one out the hard way. I mean, it's certainly not a checkbox on a Zillow site, now is it? So, are you looking at houses and don't want to move into a murder house? I mean, I do, but I understand that it's not for everyone. Well, now you can find out who died in your house, or any house for that matter, and usually what the cause of death was as well. And we have a way for you to save money when you do. Of course, we do. Check out diedinhouse.com. Save 10% by using promo code OddityFiles, one word, no spaces. Before buying or renting a home, get informed about everything. Use diedinhouse.com to learn the house history. Again, head to diedinhouse.com and enter promo code OddityFiles, one word, at checkout, and you'll save 10%. So, are you having fun with the paranormal caught on camera scene? I find it entertaining as hell as a, again, fangirl, sorry. But it's so neat to see just what other people capture. Do you think that's what's going to take it to the next level is everybody has this camera in their pocket, so to speak, or on the outside of their house or everywhere at this point? Do you think we're going to finally capture that evidence where people are going to be like, especially the skeptics, will be like, "Hey, you know what? That might be something."
I'm definitely having a ball with the series. I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I feel like it's a fun show, and it should be because,
Yeah.
and again, watch all the shows, enjoy them. If they're entertainment, they're meant to be entertaining. So there's no need to pick a camp and say, "I like that show, but not that show." Definitely expose yourself to all of them. But our show, Paranormal Caught on Camera, doesn't take itself so seriously. Look at the case names; they're
Exactly.
all puns, and I love it.
Mhm.
And for me personally, being on this show, I don't have to crawl under any houses. I'm I'm never in night vision, which is a pleasure. And of the videos, I can comment on them and go into the theories behind them. But yet, since I didn't capture them, there's no feeling of ownership where I have to defend them because people come online or whenever the show airs the day after, I'll get a lot of tweets and emails saying, "Well, you said this, and what about that?" And I said, "Look, it's not my video. I wasn't there."
Yeah,
I'm giving the best explanation I can for someone who wasn't there.
yeah.
But it's meant not to, and I mean, the name of the show might be a little misleading in the respect that it's the paranormal caught on camera. It's not paranormal definite evidence you must believe this. It's meant to be the beginning of a conversation. And, I encourage people to really dissect the videos and go, But at the same time, I don't want them to be closed off to the possibilities.
Exactly, and that you have just described me to a T. Because some of them I'm like, "Oh, whoa," and some of them I'm like, "Now, I know that's a guy in an ape suit in the woods behind my house right now." You know what I'm saying? But it's all the stuff and all the things, and nobody judges anybody on the show for things that people submit, and you guys get some of the most amazing stuff, and then interviews, like the guy in the hotel room, I think it was in Texas with the yellow painted brick walls. where the stuff was
Mm.
flying off his phone. And I mean, I'd watched that years ago online, but the fact that you guys had him on and the fact that he was able to explain what he saw and we could see his reaction, it almost makes it a little bit more believable to me, who is a person who wants to believe. So I think it's fun. It's got you guys' take on it. It's got the people who captured the footage. It's one of my all-time favorite shows right now, for sure.
I'm definitely glad you're enjoying it. And here's the Rosetta Stone to interpreting my comments. Now, if I speak to the video specifically, that's something like, "Oh, okay, Brian must have really liked this video." If I skirt the verbs and adverbs, and if I speak about the topic and not the video itself, you could say, "Oh, yeah, Brian wasn't on board with this one, but he still wanted to pass along some info."
Exactly. No, and it's great. And the cast, well, I guess you guys would be the cast. I've known Aaron for years, and I'm so glad Mr. Sagers is on board as well. But you've got some great people giving their comments and their thoughts on it. And I think it's a good gateway drug into the paranormal. And if I were to get my kids into it, I probably would choose that show. They're all of age, by the way, so it's okay.
Well, that's the good thing. I mean, that's what the shows should be, gateways. No matter what show you like or no matter what show you watch, that alone should not be your sole education on the
Oh,
paranormal. And I
yeah.
see this in the field where people watch show A or show B and they mimic what they see. And I'm thinking, okay, well, you only got part of the picture. What they did is just you're getting the Cliff Notes version of the
Mhm.
whole book. So there's more. So watch the show and enjoy it, but
Yeah.
dig deeper, go further. There's more information out there for you.
Oh, absolutely. And my gateway into all of this was, watching the shows and I'm like, okay, this isn't as scary as I thought it was going to be. They can't actually kill you. Nobody's died during filming a paranormal investigative show. But once I got out there, I kind of figured out what worked for me. And I think that's something a lot of people should take into consideration, that just because it works for the people on this show right here doesn't mean it's going to get you the same evidence and things like that. It's a constant learning curve for me, and I'm always trying to try something new. Do you feel the same way?
I feel like when people try to mimic what they see on TV, they're doing themselves a disservice in the respect that, okay, and I tell this to people all the time when we're at events. You saw this location on your favorite show, but you shouldn't want to duplicate what was shown on there because that was their experience.
Yeah.
This moment right now is unique because this is the only time that you're going to be here. So you should have your experience. Don't worry what happened to Zach. Don't worry what happened to Jason and Grant. Worry about what's happening to you
Yep.
because that's going to be the thing that is special. That's going to be the thing that resonates because if you're just trying to uh, have the same experience as someone else, go see a movie. That's
Yeah.
going to be the same every time.
So is there one bucket list location you'd love to just go in and have at and find all the ghosties?
I have a hard time with favorite questions,
Oh, that's okay.
but it always because there's too many good ones to choose from. But I
Yeah.
feel like um, one that I've mentioned over and over and over again, and this is barring being able to go out of the country for a cool location. I would say I would love to check out the White House.
Dude, you're my me too. That's my number one bucket list place. Holy shit. Nobody ever says that.
I mean, it's a no-brainer. There's been
Yeah.
so many personalities in there. Some of the world's biggest decisions and stresses have occurred within those walls. There's got to, and I'm kind of a borderline conspiracy theorist, and I'm like, there's got to be something hidden in there. I'm gonna find it.
Right.
You know,
Exactly. Well, and Abe Lincoln's said to have been visited there in his afterlife, and my number 2 is Buckingham Palace. So, it looks like we're kinda on
that's
the
a good
same
one.
page with the White House. That's a good one, I love it.
Yeah, yeah.
You're the only other person I've ever met in my life who has said that, so yay. You just made my entire day. So, um,
Yay.
what do you see in Brian's future?
Whew, that's a tough one. It's funny that you bring that up because up until this past year, not that I could foretell the future, but I always seem to have a sense of okay, I'll do this in a couple of months, or in a couple of months, this will be good. I didn't sweat the details because I knew
Right.
it would work out, and whatever events I wasn't booked on would come calling, or something like it would just work out, and things would
Yeah.
fall into place. Over the past year, nothing, gray, barren emptiness, like the loading room in the Matrix, and it's been a little unnerving thinking, I have no idea what's coming up. I have no idea what's going to happen. And then COVID hits and
Right.
everything, we all got canceled. 2020 got canceled.
It did. Can we just fast forward to 2021, please?
So, I mean, whatever's coming up, I have no idea.
Mhm.
I tweeted this yesterday. I said, hey, Doc, it looks like Biff changed the timeline again. Can you and Marty do something about this?
Sorry, I snort. Um, so, okay, let's say I'm not having you say favorites, but hashtag ultimate goals for Brian in the future. If you could just press a button and your biggest dream could come true, what would that be?
Whew.
I'm tough,
I'd have
man.
to, I'd have,
Sorry.
I'd have to give that one some thought.
Okay.
But being a creative person, I I'm the type that wants to check all the boxes.
Mhm.
So, do make documentaries and be on TV? Check. Write a book? Check. Do a game? Check. Um, act in a play? Check. Like everything creative I want to do. And I can't say I want to come out with like a rap album or anything, but I feel like there's more creative outlets out there that I have yet to tackle that I would
Yeah.
love to be given the opportunity to do. And I'm still looking into what those might be. I mean, I've recorded audiobooks before for John and Rosemary's books. Like, I feel like a lot of those bases have been covered, but there's got to be something else, and
Yeah.
I'm looking into it.
I like that. So you touched on your game a little bit. Can you like summarize what your card game is and where people can get that?
Oh, it's fun. It's called the Three Pillars, a paranormal card game, and it simulates an investigation. Now, it's either 2 or 4 players, and say you and I were playing. All right, you have your team, I have my team. We're going to both investigate the same location, and the object of the game is to score as many points in evidence as you can over 3 haunted locations. So,
Ooh.
you but it's not going to be that simple because along the way things can go wrong. Like as I'm trying to conduct my investigation and score points, I'm going to be trying to stop you by playing misfortune cards, things like
Oh.
drained batteries or broken equipment or possession, to delay you in you
So
completing
cool.
your goals while I'm busy doing mine, and vice versa. And I snuck in, as I always like to do. I like to sneak learning into what I do. So on the
Oh,
cards,
fun.
there's little factoids and tidbits, and all the locations are real locations. The characters in the game are real people, um, so that you can just have a little fun. And when you get 4 players, it's teams, so it's 2 versus 2. That's when the trash talking starts and really gets fun.
So it's like a real investigation.
It's paranormal drama has never been more fun.
Exactly. Oh, that's fa and where can people, find this game?
That you can get on my one of my websites, neverstopsearching.com.
Perfect, and what are your other websites?
I've got a Patreon site, as I mentioned earlier. That's
Right.
patreon.com/ Brian J. Cano. And that site is fun because it offers an insider's access to me and my projects. Anything new that I come out with, uh, people on there can be considered producers because they're contributing to the production. And I have a very limited amount of slots that I'm offering mentor services in the respect that,
Oh.
all right, I've learned a lot. I want to pass on some of this. And anyone who signs up at the apprentice level and becomes a mentor, I craft for you your own special syllabus. So, you say you want to learn about parapsychology. Okay, let's do that. If you want to learn about psychic blocking techniques, okay, we can do that.
Oh,
Depending on what
neat.
you want to learn, it's like a college course for one, specifically crafted for you. And I only have a few of those slots left, but they are open.
That's so neat, and, I am so sorry I pronounced your name wrong at the top of this. It's Brian Cano, and I'm saying that now so I can move that up to the front of this, the opening. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I know you're a very busy man, and I don't want to keep you any longer than I said I would, but thank you so much. I wish you all the luck in all the stuff and all the things, sir. So thanks so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oddity Files is an independent production. Intro music created by DJ Jimmy. Wah wah. 2020 artwork created by me, Kitsy Duncan. The opinions expressed in this podcast are ours, and ours alone. Well, maybe yours too. If you like the show and would like to support us, visit oddityfiles.com and click on support, or go to patreon.com/oddityfiles. Every little bit helps with both the podcast and the TV show. You can also support us by watching Oddity Files on Amazon Prime. It's free to Prime members and dirt cheap to those who aren't. You can find us on all the social media sites at Oddity Files. Keep spreading the word by sharing, retweeting, and reposting. Join our Oddity Files Facebook group by searching Oddity Files Fan Group and click join. We'll approve you as soon as we can. All weirdos are welcome. Not into that social media stuff? Tell your coworkers, family, even the weird guy who just won't stop talking to you in line for coffee. Oh, and Grandma. Your grandma will love us. We appreciate each and every one of you, and if it weren't for you, we have no idea what we would do with our lives. If you have a story you'd like to submit, send it on in at oddityfilescrew@gmail.com. Also, send in story ideas, silly, weird memes, or just positive vibes to oddityfilescrew@gmail.com. You can also call in and leave that in a voicemail. Call us at 317-300-6699. To contact us about an appearance, reach out at kitsy@oddityfiles.com. When you have a sec, rate, review, and subscribe. We know it doesn't sound like much, but it really helps us get up there on the podcasting charts. And remember, kids, weird is the new cool. Ghost on. Why are you still here? Go on. Get out of here. Turn it off. It's done. Really. I swear. Go. Get. Serious. I'm out of here.